This is Ben from Proterra Advertising, and today I'm going to teach you some simple tricks how to make your video look a little bit more professional. The first thing I do is I adjust the colors a bit, the highlights, midtones, and shadow of the red, blue, and green channels. I'm going to be using a still frame of my boss from when he was on his fishing trip, but this technique works just as well as with video. The combination that I found for this specific image is that if I turned up the blue midtones, turn up the red highlights, and turn down the green shadow, it really brought out the fish in the photo and kind of made the background seem a bit more vibrant. You may have to use different levels for different points in your video depending on how background or lighting changes, but in the end, it's completely worth it. It makes your video look 100 times better. The next trick is for title cards. Now, you can always go with the normal black screen for title cards or some sort of screen, but the best is to use a still image, but then desaturate it a bit, then blur it a bit, and that takes the focus off the video, and it makes the words a lot easier and clearer to read. You can also use different kinds of blurs. For example, I found to give the video a bit more edge to it, you can use a prism blur, which blurs the red, blue, and green channels separately. There's also a technique you can use if you want to have text on the screen as well as your moving video, but you don't want it to have black bars all around, or you don't want to have text obstructing your video. What you do is you take your video and you expand it so that it covers more than the canvas that you're working on. Then you desaturate it and blur it, just as we did with the title card effect. And then you take a second instance of the video and put it on top of it, and then shrink it down so you have plenty of space for your text. That way you can have plenty of room for your text and your video to go simultaneously, and they do not affect each other. Finally, the last trick that I use fairly often is taking a still frame like the one I have and adding a pan to it to build anticipation and kind of bring life to what would be a lifeless video. Have the pan go in the direction of the object you're focusing on and have the main point of that object be in the last half of the pan. The first pan I'm doing is to focus on the fish. I start at the tail and move towards the head because the head is more of a focal point. We can see the same effect if I change the pan to focus on Danny, starting at the bottom, scrolling upwards, makes the viewer see Danny as the main focal point of this pan. That is all. Thank you for watching.